Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
How are you today? How are you today, Zaki?
I am
How are you
fine.
today?
I am
Yes. What
fine.
about you, Anga? Yes. What about you, Anga?
I'm fine.
Yes, sir, I'm
Okay.
fine. How are you today?
Fine.
It's not good.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay. Okay. I'm fine. Thank you. What about Khairul Akmal?
Yes, sir.
MashaAllah. 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 Okay. I see that just 60 students here.
Sir, I want
Yes.
to visit Roya
Okay. What are you feeling now? What is your feel?
in the bait in the house.
Yes, in the house. What happened?
Oh,
You don't feel so comfortable in the house.
hashtag.
Yeah, salam. Yes, actually, also we miss you all, but the conditions we cannot do anything. We miss you all also because now the conditions in Araya is very empty. You can imagine that inside the dormitory, the first, second, third, there is no person. There is no person. It just what's that? It's just the sound like from the cat, from another animal. And sometimes there is salam, there is no answer. So it will be better, inshallah. Also, I think on your house now because you can sit with your family, and now we just sit by ourselves here. Okay. Okay, inshallah ya Angga Saputra. As soon as possible, we can see together. Okay, where is another? Where is uh, where is Nordin? Hey, I'm sorry. Now is for English or for another? Ah, okay. Okay, today's story we will talk about and discuss together about essential English book. Yesterday we have talked about uh, what's that preposition of the transport, and today we will go anymore to this lovely book. We have talked about comparison of adjectives. ماذا نقول المقارنة في ماذا؟ في الصفات. Okay, we have talked about comparison of adjectives. Okay, great. Do you have any questions for this topic? Anybody have a questions about this topic? No. Okay. um, yes. If there is no questions, what do you think? Make it take this. I think it's not suitable. Okay, simple past tense. Okay, we can go and take this first. Lesson 24, 24th lesson. Yes, the simple past tense. As you know, that simple past tense is the tenses that talks about the past tense. Okay, past. What is the meaning of past? Past is the history. Now is present, and tomorrow is future. Okay, yesterday is the past, today is the present, and tomorrow is future. Okay. In lesson 23, you have other examples of the past tense of regular verbs. Okay. For example, happened, caused, surprised, seemed, tried, worried. Okay, you can see here happened. Yes, happened is a regular verbs, like regular verbs. So it means that the first verb is happen without ed, and happened with ed, and happened with ed. Second and the third verb, caused, also dried. Dried. What is the first verb of dried? Yes, this you can see here. Dry, dried, and dried. Worried, worried, and worried. Okay. Okay, in all this, the pronunciation of ed is d. It means we can read ed with just d. Okay, sound it, point it. Okay, pronunciation of ed here is id. Okay, some pronunciations with ed we can read it with e, or we can read it with I and D. Okay, we can see the example here. There are some irregular verbs. Okay, the first we have talked about regular verbs, and now we are talking about irregular verbs. Irregular verbs are verbs that do not form their past tense by adding d, ed, or t. Hope uses. Okay, Hope is the name of the person. Uses the past tense of three of them. I went to the wedding of my friend. He saw Helen on the other side of the wall. Tom said, "What is the matter?" Yes. Okay, any questions? Hello?
Well,
Yes? Sir Lama?
so is past tense for see.
Yes, correct. Yes. See, saw, sawn. Because the first is see, the second is saw. So we can group these verbs in we can say irregular verbs, because there is no what's that fixed condition. There is no steady conditions. نعم ما معنى fixed conditions؟ يعني ماذا؟ يعني الحال غير ثابت. نعم فقط سي في البداية ثم يتغير إلى so and sin. سي so sin. نعم ولذلك نسميه بirregular verbs.
Baru masuk.
Okay. Yes. Yes, Mizan?
Sempitnya itu ya.
Kan asli, bro. Hah? Oh. Mas mau?
Mike Ken.
Okay. The other irregular verbs in that lesson are eat, drink, draw, understand, put, find, tell, get, give. Present tense. Here, the example: go, went, see, or saw, say, said, or said, say, said, eat, ate, give, gave, find, found, drink, drank, draw, drew, understand, understood, put, get, got, tell, and told. Okay, you just memorize these irregular verbs. So نعم كمان أقول لا يوجد قياس كما في irregular verbs. نعم فإذا بالحفظ فقط. You could just memorize these irregular verbs, and after that you can use it on the conversations. Okay. هل أحتاج إلى ترجمة؟ Excuse me. هل أحتاج إلى الترجمة أو لا؟
نعم شيخ. نعم.
نعم.
اوكي. نعم، إذا سأكرر مرة أخرى. simple present tense. simple present tense إذا tenses الذي يتحدث عن الماضي. يوجد ثلاثة: الماضي، الحاضر، والمستقبل. الماضي نسميه بماذا؟ past tense. الحاضر present. المستقبل نسميه بماذا؟ future. في الدرس 23 يعني يوجد you have other examples. يوجد بعض الأمثلة الأخرى of the past tense of regular verbs. نعم، لكن هذا نسميه ب regular verbs الذي تغيره نستطيع أن نقيس من بقية ماذا؟ verb. مثال ذلك happened. يوجد ed هنا happened لأن ماذا نقول first verb أو ماذا نقول الفعل يعني الأول happened إي ودي. فالverb الثاني فقط يوجد إي ودي مثل ماذا؟ caused, surprised, seemed, dried, worried. dried إذا ماذا نقول الverb الأول dry صحيح أليس كذلك؟ ثم worried يعني verb الأول ماذا؟ worry. In all this pronunciation of ed is d. جميع هذه نقرأ بماذا؟ d فقط. زيادة ed هنا يقرأ d. happened, caused, surprised, seemed, worried, tried. okay. ثم sound, sounded, sounded, pointed. لكن يوجد قراءة أخرى مثلا ed لكن يقرأ I'm sorry ed يقرأ ed عفوا يقرأ ed. نعم. إذن نقول ماذا؟ sounded, pointed. اوكي نعم. أما في البداية قبل قليل يقرأ ماذا؟ ب فقط. أما الآن يقرأ بماذا؟ ed. نعم. الشرح واضح؟
واضح.
Okay. There are also some irregular verbs. يوجد آخر irregular verbs. irregular verbs هذا إذن ما في قياس، حفظا فقط. تغيره من الverb الأول والverb الثاني والverb الثالث إذن حفظا سمعيا. There are also some irregular verbs. Irregular verbs are verbs that do not form their past tense by adding d, ed, or t. Hob uses the past tense of 3 of them. Okay. نعم. هنا يذكر صحيح نعم قد يكون ماذا نقول في irregular verbs أما في regular verbs يوجد d قبل ed يقرأ d ثم ed يقرأ ed. نعم. لكن هنا في irregular verbs لا يوجد d ed t. نعم. لكن تغيره يعني سنرى. I went go. نعم يوجد go صحيح go يعني الverb الأول go. الverb الثاني ماذا؟ went. الverb الثالث من يعرف الverb الثالث؟ gone يعني gone. اوكي. مثل ذلك he saw Helen. saw see في البداية ماذا؟ الverb الأول see. الverb الثاني saw. الverb الثالث seen. نعم. said هذا say. الverb الأول ماذا؟ say ثم said ثم said. اوكي. نعم. ثم هنا يذكر يعني irregular verbs يعني الأخرى مثل eat, drink, draw, understand, put, find, tell, get, give. اوكي. irregular verbs هذا يخرج مثل اسم irregular verbs ثم ماذا؟ regular حينما نتحدث فقط في ماذا؟ في past tense. نعم. لأنه يحتاج إلى ماذا؟ تغير. go, went, see, saw, say, sit, eat, ate. إلى tell and told. نعم. نعم، هل من سؤال؟ أين Jajang Kamaluddin? Jajang Kamaluddin. There is no Jajang. Okay, نعم. هل يوجد سؤال يا إخوة؟ هل يسمع صوتي؟
مسموع.
أو ما طيب.
مسموع.
Okay. نعم، سنتحدث الآن simple past tense interrogative. Simple past tense interrogative. ما معنى interrogative? Questions. To form the simple past tense interrogative of all verbs except to be, can, and one of two others, you use the past tense to do, or you use the past tense of did with the infinitive of the verbs. Example: Hope ate a good dinner. Did Hope eat a good dinner? Okay. Affirmative. Okay, affirmative is the question, positive. Okay. Apa affirmative? Positive. Shakespeare liked London. Did Shakespeare like London? Lucille stayed at a quiet place. Did Lucille stay at a quiet place? Tom danced with Helen. Did Tom dance with Helen? He walked to the station. Did he walk to the station? Hope went to the wedding. Did Hope go to the wedding? Tom saw Helen in the garden. Did Tom see Helen in the garden? إذا أردنا أن نصنع ماذا يعني نكون جملة يعني الاستفهامية، فنستخدم did ثم subject ممكن اسم شخص مثل شيء، كذلك ممكن الضمائر، ثم verb الأول إذا يعود في verb الأول، ثم ماذا وما بعده الباقي، ثم يوضع العلامة الاستفهامية. Yes, أخير. Yes, أخير. Do you have any questions? Oh, okay. Okay. مثال ذلك Shakespeare liked London. Liked ما معنى liked؟ لا تقرأ liked but liked. ما معنى liked؟ اقرأ liked ليس liked. Okay. أما like بمعنى suka، أما like بمعنى آخر. ثم لا بد يعود إلى ماذا؟ Did Shakespeare like؟ الفرق الأول. نعم، هنا يذكر الفرق يعني الأول. London. Lucille stayed at a quiet place. Did Lucille stay هنا؟ Stay at a quiet place. Tom danced with Helen. Did Tom dance with Helen? He walked to the stations. Did he walk to the station? Hope went to the wedding. Did Hope go to the wedding? Tom saw Helen in the garden. Did Tom see Helen in the garden? نعم صحيح. هذه إذا كانت الجملة جملة فعلية، يعني يستخدم ماذا؟ فعل. Shakespeare liked London. إذن في السؤال كذلك يستخدم مثل هذه did. يختلف إذا كانت الجملة ماذا؟ جملة اسمية. نعم إلى آخره. He drank the wine. Did he drink the wine؟ ما معنى wine؟
Homer.
Yes, the Homer. Hope ate a good dinner. Did Hope eat a good dinner? Yes. The answer to these questions are yes, he did, or yes, they did, or yes, she did. Now, then الإجابة لابد ماذا؟ Yes, he did, yes, they did, yes, she did. أو مثال في النيجاتيف إذا no, he did not, yes, they did, no, they did not, no, she did not. نعم. طيب نيجاتيف هذا فقط مراجعة أولا. To form the simple past tense negative of all verbs except to be, to have, can, etc. We use the verb did with not and the infinitive of the verb. نعم تماما مثل السؤال هنا إلا أنه يزاد not ويغير ماذا؟ ويغير موقف الكلمة أو نعم الكلمة. نعم Pedro liked London. Frida did not like London. إذن فبيعود جميعا إلى ماذا؟ الباب الأول. Tom danced with Helen. Hope did not dance with Helen. Tom saw Helen in the garden. We did not see Helen in the garden. The artist drew the picture. I did not draw the picture. I did not draw. Mana draw mana الباب الأول صحيح. They understood the picture. They did not understand the picture. She put her arms around Tom's neck. She did not put her arms around Hope's neck. Hope's neck. Okay. نعم إذا هنا هكذا. In conversation we often shorten did not to didn't. Example: Hope ate a good dinner. He drank the wine. Tom didn't eat a good dinner. He didn't drink the wine. Okay. The negative answer to the questions in the past tense is no, he didn't. No, they did not. Okay. هل من سؤال؟ There is no questions? Okay. نعم نقرأ هذه قليلا. Okay, the cat that caused a wedding. I went practice in the past tense of regular verbs and some irregular ones. I went to the wedding of my old friend Tom Bailey, and Miss Helen Jones last week. I enjoyed it very much. It was a good wedding with lots to eat and drink, and there were some bright, lively people there. Tom is a lucky fellow. His wife is very practical, young and gay and interesting, and clever too. Oh yes, he is a lucky man. And it all happened because of a cat. Okay, what do you mean? How could a cat cause a wedding? Yes, it sounds funny, but it's true. It happened like this. Now, سيأتي تفصيل هذا. Helen lived. Helen lived in the next house to Tom, and Tom was soon head over heels in love with Helen, and I'm not surprised. He used to look at her over the garden wall. إذن يوجد جدار هكذا. He talked to her one day for a short time. He walked to the station with her once or twice, and one good evening in his life, he went to a Christmas party and danced with her. But Tom isn't much of a talker. He is different from me. And when he was with Helen, he seemed to have nothing to say. He wanted to say such a lot, but the words just dried up and could never say anything. Then, one day he walked out into the garden. and saw Helen on the other side of the wall, looking very unhappy and worried. Tom said, "What's the matter?" And she pointed to the big tree in the garden and answered, "But I won't tell you what she said. Yes, here it is the picture. I asked a friend, an artist to draw it for me. His picture will tell you the story better than I can, and you will see how a cat caused a wedding." If you can't understand the story from the picture, you will find it in words in exercise 3, page 183. Yes, these words and phrases will help you to understand and then to tell the story. Okay. Okay, do not see the picture. Okay. Okay. Okay, who want to read this story? Who wants to read?
I
Okay, yes, please.
yes,
Yes, Rom. Yes.
I want to read. Lesson 23.
Yes.
The cat that caused a wedding.
Yes.
Practice in the past tense of regular verbs and some irregular ones. Hope. I went to the wedding of my old friend Tom Bailey and Miss Helen Jones last week. I enjoyed it very much.
Yes.
It was a good wedding with a
Wedding.
lot of
Wedding.
wedding. It was a good wedding with
Yes.
lots to eat and drink, and there were some bright, lively
Mhm.
people there.
Hmm.
Tom is a lucky fellow. His
Mhm.
wife is a very pretty girl, young and gay and interesting.
Yeah. Yes, young and gay.
Young and gay
Yes.
and interesting and clever too. Oh yes, he is a lucky man, and it all happens because of a cat.
Yes.
What do you mean? How could a cat cause a wedding?
Yes.
Yes, it sounds funny, but it is true. It happened like this. Helen li-
Yes.
Helen lived in the next house of Helen lived in the next house to Tom, and Tom was son, son, and Tom was son head over heels in love
Was
with
soon. Tom was soon.
was soon,
Was
and
soon.
Tom was soon
Hmm.
head over heels in love with Helen.
Hmm.
And I am not surprised. He used he used he used to look at her over the garden wall. He talked to her one day for a short time. He walked to the station with her or twice, and one evening,
Even
one great nam
evening. One evening. One evening.
and one evening,
Okay.
one great evening in his life. He went to a Christmas party and danced with her. But Tom isn't much of a talker. He's different from me. And when he was with Helen,
Yes.
he seemed to have nothing to say. He
Hmm.
wants to say
He wanted. Yes. He
he
wanted.
want he want
Did.
he want he
Yes.
want
Wanted.
he
Wanted.
wanted he wanted to say such a lot, but the words just up. The court never say anything.
Yes.
Then one day he walked it. He walked it.
He
Out.
walked. No, he walked. He walked
He walked.
out.
He walked. Then one day he walked out into the garden and saw Helen to the other side of the wall, looking very unhappy and worried. Tom said, "What is the matter?" And she pointed to the
Yes.
big tree
Yes.
in her garden and answered,
Yes. Answered. Not
Answered.
answered. Answered.
answered. But I won't tell you what she said. Here it is in pictures. I asked a friend, an artist, to draw it for me. This picture will tell you the story better than I can. And you will see how a cat just
Coast. Coast.
how cat caused a wedding.
Ah,
Now,
okay.
if you can understand,
Okay, يكفي له هنا شيخ. Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Roma Rahman. Thank you.
your
Yes. Okay. Who wants to try another?
I'm sorry.
Okay, Apip. Yes, Apip. Sulaiman.
Reading, sir?
Yes, just reading.
Oh,
Take anything. It's
okay.
Yes.
Bismillah. Lesson 23rd lesson. The cat that caused a wedding. Practice in the past tense of regular verb and some irregular ones. Hope.
Past tense.
Past tense of
BP.
past tense of regular verb and some irregular ones. Hope. I went to the wedding of my old friend Tom Bailey and Miss Helen Jones last week. I enjoyed it very much. It was a good wedding with lots to eat and drink, and there were some bright, lively people there. Tom is a lucky fellow. His wife is a very pretty girl, young and gay and interesting, and clever too. Oh yes, he is a lucky man, and it all happened because of a cat. Jan, what do you mean? How could a cat cause a wedding? Hope, yes, it sounds funny. It sounds funny, but it's true. It's happened like this. Helen lived in the next house to Tom, and Tom, whose son, was soon head over heels in love with Helen, and I am not surprised. He used to look at her over the garden wall. He talked to her one day for a short time. He walked to the station with her once or twice, and one great evening in his life, he went to a Christmas party and danced with her. But Tom isn't much of walker. He is different from me. And when he was with Helen,
Yes.
he seemed to have nothing to say. He wanted to say such a lot, but the word just dried up and he could never say anything. Then one day he walked out into the garden
Yes.
and saw Helen on the other side of the wall, looking very unhappy and worried. Tom said, "What is the matter?" And she pointed to the big tree in her garden and answered, "But I want to tell But I won't tell you what she said. What she said. Here it is in picture. I asked a friend and artist to draw it for me. His pictures will tell you the story better than I can, and you will see how a cat codes a wedding.
Okay. 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 Now, thank you Hafiz Sulaiman, mashallah. Okay. قبل أن نواصل هل يوجد سؤال؟ أو لو نبي ترجمة جميعا. Okay, if there are no questions, okay. نعم القصة يعني هذا يعني هذا تفهمون أم في شيء؟ Hanif shukran. Where is Hanif shukran? Hanif shukran.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
It's okay. Can you Can you understand all of these texts?
Hmm. بل انفردت لم أفهمها sir.
مثل ماذا؟ حتى أبين.
Simit,
Mana gitu?
simit.
Sim terlihat. Okay. Euro. Sim euro. اوكي اذا سأبين يعني ممكن جملة هنا. اوكي هنا يذكر المهم هنا قصة قطة تسبب الزواج. قطة هذه نعم يعني توجد في بين بيتين. يوجد هناك بيت الأول للرجل والثاني للمرأة. I'm sorry. القطة هذه في بيت المرأة. كل يوم أصلا يعني الشخص الأول والثاني هذا يعني ماذا يوم ما يتقابل كثيرا يعني تارة يمشي سويا تارة يذهب هناك سويا إلى stations مرة ثم يرى في المساء ثم عادة في كريسماس بارتي. ماذا المشكلة هذه كريسماس بارتي يعني حفلة ماذا كريسماس. نعم and dance with her. المشكلة dance. اوكي هو يعني له كلام يريد يتحدث يعني لكن صعب لا يخرج. The word just straight up. Kata-kata itu mengering. Asik. Nah. Then one day he walked out in the garden. لكن يوما ما يذهب إلى الخارج فإذا يرى ماذا قطة فوق ماذا شجرة هناك فيساعد الرجل يعني حتى تنزل القطة فإذا خلاص أحبته وأحبها. نعم هذه ثم خلاص تسبب متى الزواج. هذا فقط. الخلاصة. طيب إذن ممكن يعني الواجب ممكن الأسبوع التالي يعني قبل الدخول سنتحدث مرة أخرى عن هذه. لكن I want to make sure that all of you knows the vocabularies here. إذن قبل الدخول يعني أرجوكم خاص لهذا أبحث أولا في المعجم ثم تعريف مع المعاني جميعا إلى التحدث إلى story and then to tell the story إلى هذه الجملة. Okay. Yes, tapi dried up. Dried up mengering. Dry kering, kering ماضي. لكن up هذا يوجد لتأكيد المعنى. dried up. up هذا لأجل معنى shut tutup down menutup. إذا هي للتأكيد المعنى shut down shut up. ماذا آخر؟ turn off turn off ليس. نعم لكن مثل هذه إذا يوجد لأجل معنى تأكيد المعنى dried up mengering. Okay. Like this. Oke, إذا اتفقنا قبل الدخول أولا نبحث أولا عن ماذا المفردات الموجودة هنا ثم نتناقش. أوكي، ثم إن شاء الله سنتحدث مرة أخرى past tense ما هو، لأن جميع هذه مأخوذة من النص. Okay, the simple past tense interrogative, also the simple past tense negative until the last that is used to until the last here. We can answer together the questions discussed together. Okay, thank you very much for your attention because the time is over. So see you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.